Hello and welcome to another episode of The Kennel. Today we are previewing Round 5. After Round 4 proved to be one of the toughest rounds to tip and had some of the most mind-boggling upsets we've seen in a long time. Dogs lost to the Knights, Warriors lost to the Tigers, Storm lost to the Cowboys in North Queensland, and a whole raft of different results that had. But before to discuss everything, need to introduce my trusty co-host, Zaatar. Welcome, bro.
You got my name right, man.
Yeah, honestly, I almost said Dibbo. Wallahi, in my head, I was like...
Dibbo sacked himself from the podcast. So they said, sack you guys. You rip into the Dragons too much. You're self-hating Bulldogs fans. So he's left us. He'll be here soon.
He hasn't left us. Just today he's just Zaatar and myself. But yeah, Dibbo did sack us actually. He has more important places to be on a Tuesday afternoon, evidently, and we don't. But anyway, so there's a lot happening. Last week, how'd you go with your tips?
Can we not talk about it?
Well, you have to give me your tips for this week. So
3 out of 8. It was a shocker. But I've had a shocking start to the season.
My first 2 rounds were good. My first 3 rounds were good. And then, as I said, last week it was just impossible to tip. All right. I'm going to get straight into it, right? I'll start with the Dogs and the Rabbitohs because we're both dog supporters. This is a dogs-leaning podcast, so we'll start with the Bulldogs. And if you watched our previous podcast, you'll know that I blew a fuse a little bit on how we performed against the Knights. Some of our performances were very difficult to handle as a Bulldogs supporter. So I did go on a bit of a rant. I apologise if I upset anyone, but I really don't care. And unfortunately, Cameron Ciraldo hasn't made any changes.
Did you expect any changes?
I would have expected, a couple.
Nah, you're crazy.
I would have at least expected... I guess him to bring back someone like Sherry, maybe?
So, Sherry, interestingly enough, has been named 22 normally. He's normally at 22 when he's been dropped, right? He's moved up to 19. Onto the 6-man bench, not just in reserves.
But that's also because it seems like Jonathan Sewell has been dropped to New South Wales Cup. So, I don't know if... Oh, actually, he's Jonathan Sewell is number 23, so he's still there.
He can name anyone there. If he doesn't want to play someone, like we've known Ciraldo, or not known him on a personal level, but...
Yeah. You don't know Ciraldo on a personal
level? Even if I did, I don't think we'd be allowed to access and speak to him right now. He could have named anyone there. And I think we both called it a week ago or 2 weeks ago that Sherry never played in the Bulldogs jersey again in first grade. I think he might have turned it around. I think he's moving up that pecking order.
I think it's more that our backline is actually just not performing. And sooner or later, I think Ciraldo's going to have to make a change. But look, quickly, to show you guys, or to speak about the team, it's pretty much the exact same team that was named last week, with the exception of Hughes starting at 10 instead of Lipoi Hopoi, and Harry Hayes comes onto the bench at the expense of Josh Curran, who's sustained a rib injury, because he's not named anywhere in the team. So I'm assuming it's injury related. But on the bench, Tupanua, Kurtman, Hayes, Sullivan, as you mentioned, Bronson Cherry. Lipoi Hopoi maintains his position on the bench, although I don't think he'll get much time given...
He won't get given any time.
Yeah, I don't think he will. Last week he named Fletcher Baker. I would have liked to have seen Fletcher Baker, but that wasn't to be. He brought on Sean O'Sullivan in the last 10 minutes. The Rabbitohs have named what I would think is probably one of their most full-strength teams in a while.
Yeah, Campbell Graham comes back. Everyone's fresh off a bye. The only person still missing, he was touted to come back this week.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think he comes back next week. He was very close a couple of weeks ago, and he actually said on the Buy Round podcast that he was expecting potentially to come back this week. So it looks like he's probably a week or 2 away.
Which is, I think, look, from 1 to 13, they probably have us covered. Maybe with the exception of Jacob Kiraz and Alex Johnston. I know he's broken the record, but I think Jacob Kiraz is probably a better winger. And obviously, I still think Crichton is better than Whiten. That's still going to be a good battle. Oh, actually, I think it'll be Crichton up on... no, it will be. It'll be Crichton up against Whiten and Tuala up against Mitchell.
Oh, it should be the other way around.
Usually Crichton plays on the... He's been playing on the left.
Yeah, he's been playing on the left. Whiten plays on the right, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll be matching up.
With Whiten.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
no, sorry, man.
That's what I said. Is it him or me?
Oh, it's definitely you.
It's always me. It's always the host. It's
Yeah.
always the Renga, actually. It's always me. It's always me. And then you got Campbell Graham on Montoya. I think Campbell Graham has been fantastic for the Rabbitohs this year. Cody Walker, I reckon he'll cop an injury, and I think Burton's better anyway. Jamie Humphries and Lachlan Galvin. I'm gonna be calm today. I'm not gonna lose my temper. I'm going to give facts and I'm going to give good opinions, I hope. Tavita Totola against Max King, I think they cancel each other out. Haywood, I think, is better than Garlic.
No chance in the world. There is no chance in the world. You actually just said that. Bronson Garlic, although he hasn't had as much game time, he's an out-and-out hooker.
So is Hughes. Haywood, sorry.
No, he's not now.
I think you're being very harsh.
No,
I understand the team didn't perform last week, but I don't...
He came through as a half.
I don't understand the obsession with bashing Bailey Haywood.
Because he runs for 0 meters
It doesn't,
and passes the ball behind
Okay, but that's not
players.
his direction. That's the attacking strategy.
What's pass at the floor?
No, not to pass at the floor. His service 9 times out of 10 is excellent.
Rubbish.
Nah, bro.
Rubbish.
This
Poor
is,
service.
No, this is where I think you're being unfair.
Poor service.
Bailey Haywood is not to blame.
I'm just saying he's got poor service.
No, I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Okay.
Then you've got obviously Hughes, kick out, Preston, Salmon still at lock. Up against, Keon Kolomatangi, David Fafita, Talas Duncan, and Cameron Murray.
They've got us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely they do.
That pack is much stronger. Cameron Murray, probably the quickest player ball for a lock in the game.
But not only that, it's his ability to link up with his halves so cleanly, especially Cody Walker, which is, I think, is so underrated for him. Like, his ability to pass, when he passes to the left, it's like he's a 7 passing. He's so good at it. And when you look at Salmon passing, Salmon needs to take a couple of steps and look where he's passing before he passes. Whereas Cameron Murray not only plays the ball quickly, but when he gets the ball, can pass just as quickly as he catches it.
Could tackle as well.
Oh, yeah, he can. Jamin Salmon doesn't have the finesse that Cameron Murray has at all. And I think that, like, our slow team, that adds to how slow we actually are. And then, like, if you go back to the props, for example, Keon Kolomatangi, one of the advantages he has mad leg speed, but also a good step. He reminds me a lot of Adam Fanua-Blake. David Fafita, very fast, very big, good step, good running, everything, especially when he takes a run out of dummy half. I worry that he may score against us out of dummy half if we're not careful. Talas Duncan, I think, is like a Cameron Murray 2.0, just maybe not yet with the passing. Their bench is weak. I think their bench could be their undoing. Right, because I don't think that they can maintain the aggression with their bench.
Well, Sean Kepi is not going to maintain that.
Watch him play a 10 out of 10 game just to spite us.
I don't think he's ever played a 10 out of 10 game.
I don't know how he still gets chosen, but it must be a good trainer. Even Lachlan Hubner, he's got his ups and downs. I don't think he's a great, at prop. And Liam LeBlanc is all right, but still quite young. Up against Kurtman, Stili Tupanua, Harry Hayes. And then there's Sean O'Sullivan, or Bronson Cherry, or Lipoi Hotboy. Just Kurtman, Tupanua, Hayes, they themselves, I think, are a great bench. And Stili Tupanua last week played, 50, I think it was 56 minutes for 200 meters. I think Harry Hayes comes on will make a difference as well because he has leg speed and he has drive and he plays the ball a lot quicker. Kurtman, I want to see a lot more from. I think Kurtman's been...
I want to see him start.
I do too, but one of the problems with what's happened with Kurtman is I think he's been coming on and trying to straighten the attack, but I feel like when he links up with our halves, he actually creates a lot of not momentum, but he creates a lot of gaps because he gets the ball to our halves very quickly, whereas Salmon can't do that. And it doesn't make sense to me why it's Salmon that continues to play that attacking role. Like if you want to bring Crichton closer to the ball. My opinion is you get him to play that lock position in attack, or the sixth position in attack, with Galvin maybe playing the lock
Crichton?
position. Yeah,
No, man.
bro. I'm saying
You just get your halves to
in
actually
attack
do their
in their
job.
20. Bro, Salmon can't do it. Salmon keeps trying to do it, but he's slow.
Bailey Hayward should just be given it straight to Burden or straight to Galvin.
Sometimes,
And you need your fullback
yeah, but
actually
sometimes
doing
you
their
need to
job.
get 2 wide of the ruck or 3 wide of the ruck.
Where's your fullback?
The fullback is the one that they usually is the one that's going to give the last pass.
And get Salmon out.
Look, if you didn't get it, that's what I've been bloody insinuating for the past 5
We've been
minutes.
saying that for a while, but
So I don't know. Like this one, it's a danger game. I think. Look, I'm gonna tip with my heart, but my
danger
head.
game for the Rabbitohs. They need to prove themselves against the mighty Bulldogs.
Why you do this?
I don't think the Bulldogs come out and play as rubbish as they did last week.
I think the Bulldogs will bounce back. I actually think the Bulldogs will win. The problem is, do we have enough points in us to outscore the Rabbitohs? That's the fear,
I don't think we have enough points in us.
right? Because like if we win, it's not going to be like 32-12. It's going to be like 24-20 or 18-16. Like we're not going to win by more than 4 or 6
Yeah.
points. So like I'm tipping the Dogs here. I'm tipping
course.
the Dogs by 4 points. You know, and to be honest, I think in this game, I'm looking for a big step up from our backs, and I think one of them is going to go on an absolute tirade.
For me, it's the forwards I want to see step up.
No, I don't see it happening.
Nah, the forwards letting our team get bullied last week like that.
We're going to get
pathetic.
bullied again.
No, I don't think we do.
We are. Look how big their team is, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We're going to
I
get
reckon our
bullied.
team will step up.
You think Abu Hercules is going to step up?
No, not Max King. I'm looking at more so kick out. He was, in my opinion, the biggest letdown. And then another big game from Sicily. Harry Hayes, I have a lot of faith in.
100%.
Not sure why Sean O'Sullivan's in the 17 if you're not going to play him or you're just going to play Jenga in the second half again. But yeah, I want to see a big game from our forwards.
I also want to say we need to see a big game for our forwards because they are so.
And I actually think Crichton and Kiraz shift back to the right for this game against Mitchell. I don't think they leave Mitchell on that side against Tuala and Montoya. I think Crichton
that's a
goes
good
back
call,
to the right.
actually. I actually think it's a great call. I hope that's the case, but we'll see. What's your tip for this game?
Bulldogs.
You tipping the
That's not
Dogs?
even a question.
All right,
I never
but-
tip against my team.
Yeah, I never tip against
Even,
my team
even
either.
if they come in last and like not like Dibbo. When we're 0-3, I'll still tip my team.
But to be honest, Dibbo's leading the tipping because he tips against his team. Oh, man. All right. That one is the Friday, 3rd of April, Good Friday Easter game. It's always been a big turnout. Last year, we broke the record. I think we had 67,000 or something like that. This year should be big, but it is a Rabbitohs home game, not Bulldogs home game. And if you are a member, you do get reciprocal access to this game, just as how Rabbitohs members got access last year. Look out for the Bulldogs website. Look out for our socials as well, because I do think that there will be some cheaper tickets coming out for this game as they did last year. But this is it'll be more of a Rabbitohs incentive as opposed to
and
a
we'll be
Bulldogs
there,
one.
what, I reckon 2:30?
Yeah, we'll be there quite early, 2:30, 3 o'clock. Look out for us. Actually, you know what? I'll make a post on Instagram. I want to be interviewing some of the fans, just asking about, how the season's going and who they hate and things like that. So look out for that. And by the way, if you do like our content, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to us, do all the good stuff. We have so much content coming out on the very, very soon and on the daily. All right. Actually, before I just want to, I want to make a comment about the team. I think there may be changes to the team before run out.
That's the Cameron Serraldo special. I think we all
Yeah.
expect it, but I don't think it's as I don't think it's what we want to see. And I want to kind of not backtrack. I don't think like Shauno's like long term for anyone that misunderstood me, Nilma, on our review. I actually don't think Sean O'Sullivan's our long term answer, and I don't think you do either.
No, why bitching at fullback? Why backtracking?
I'm not. He's not. He's not a long term.
Why
answer.
backtracking fullback?
No, because I've been seeing commentary like in our comment section and a lot of commentary online as if like Sean O'Sullivan is like Nathan Cleary coming to save the team. I think our issues run a lot deeper than that, and it's more a long term project. But in the short term, I still want to see Sean O'Sullivan get a crack. But I think it's just those changes where Crichton shifts to the right. And it's a potential. Like, I'm reading into it that Cherry moved up into 19, potentially signals to me that he's coming in on left centre against Jack Wyden.
Are you thinking Ari Tuala gets dropped?
I think he gets dropped.
I mean,
Not that he's had a bad game. I actually think he was one of our better performers over the last couple of games.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think Sherry must have flipped the switch. And I might actually have to backtrack on I don't see him in first grade again.
I don't think Sherry comes in. I think... Look, now that I think about it, there may not actually be any changes.
Nah. Cameron Serrato's
Only positional as opposed to
I don't think
personnel.
No, I think Sherry comes in.
Maybe. I do think Sean O'Sullivan will get a crack this game. I think that he'll continue to experiment with him, especially if our attack isn't clicking. I'm telling you, that's
2.5 month off season wasn't enough.
That's what Serraldo does. But yeah, look, I think the Dogs will win. I think they'll definitely bounce back. I actually believe in the team. The thing is, last year, even when we weren't performing at our best, I still thought we performed well. Like, we lost to Melbourne. We should have won, given that last week Katoni Staggs, try was accepted. So we actually aren't bad, and I think we have a great team with a great coach.
Not that far off.
I don't think we are. I think last week it was our attitude, but what it did was expose where our weaknesses really are. And so this week, I do think we'll be a lot better, and I do think that our defense will be too good for the Rabbitohs, given that they only scored 22 points against the Tigers.
Oh, they're looking in all shambles. I don't think they're going to make the 8.
The Rabbitohs?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to make the 8.
Look, I'm not going to make that judgment.
Way too clunky.
Maybe.
Way too clunky.
I think that, but our defense will choke them out. I do think that our defense will.
Last year was 32-0 this game, so.
But they were missing a lot of players.
Doesn't matter.
So let's see how we go. I am, as I say, I'm tipping a big turnaround by the Bulldogs. Now, Dolphins and Sea Eagles, 8 p.m. Thursday night. That's up there at Redcliffe Stadium. No
real changes apart from Saab dropping.
Yeah, so Foz, who's now the interim coach for the Manly Sea Eagles, has dropped Saab, brought in Clayton Folalo, and anyone else? No real changes. He has brought he has brought Joey Walsh onto the extended bench as well as Blake Wilson, although I don't think they get a run, to be honest.
They've been named before and they get dropped. But him dropping Saab is probably the best coaching decision. That's coaching decision of the round.
It's a very simple decision.
Yeah, that was just never made. Like, I get that he's fast and he's quick and he can score tries. Like, he's the fastest guy in the comp.
But I think they have enough speed in their back line.
God, his defensive reads and his attempt to catch, like, we've seen, like, people like Toto jump over him. It's, like, bizarre.
Yeah, it is actually bizarre. But, they've still got so much speed in their back line with Turbo, Kula, Hopewadi, even Garrick runs. I don't know about Folalo. He's not slow, but he's not a speedster.
He's not lightning quick, but you still got a fast back line. Probably one of the better ones in the comp.
And look, they have an okay forward pack. Not really, to be honest.
Not when you compare it to the Dolphins. They're missing some size. Like, really, who stands out to me is Paseka. Like, everything relies on him.
Yeah, Paseka and Olakawatu.
He needs to get a bit more involved. The last couple of games he's been quiet. But the ball's not finding its way to him.
I think
so
Luke
that's like a
needs
half
to be
thing. Yeah, just feed him the ball. Like, he's really damaging.
I thought Simeone Leafi played all right. Like, for a debutant, wasn't too bad last week.
Oh, his size is
he's
beautiful.
Huge. Hope to see a lot more of him. On the Dolphins, Jermaine Asako signed with the Storm.
Yeah.
As soon as it was announced that Warbrick had signed with the Warriors, they signed Jermaine Asako. Look, Melbourne just know how to do business.
Yeah.
He's so good at it, man. Like, Asako is still playing really good, still has speed, he can kick. And I think he'll fit very well down there in Melbourne, as I think Warbrick will do very well in the Warriors.
They've got a pick of outside backs. I was surprised they actually went and signed another outside back.
Well, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is moving on.
He's still got
He's going to Wakefield Trinity.
DWZ might be moving on.
Yeah, I think you could tell DWZ's done.
Yeah.
You could have so many. Yeah, but just the way it worked, I think Warriors have been doing their business really well, and the Storm have been doing their business so well.
Yeah.
I think Warriors are going to continue to improve. I can feel it over the next 3 to 4 years. There's a premiership in the Warriors. I genuinely
it's
feel
going
it.
to slip from their hands again.
No, I hope not, bro. I hope not.
Frauds. Not joking.
Are you talking about the Dogs or the one? So look, they've named a strong lineup: Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, Jermaine Asako, Averillo, Farnworth. There are no differences to last week. No differences at all.
No, nothing.
Same team as last week. Look, I think that they'll be too good for the Seagulls, purely on account of the forward pack and the way they performed last week. Like, I thought in a losing team, Finifuiaki was great.
How fantastic. Oh, he was great.
And even Lemuelu, bro, like, he was so good. I want to see so much more from Max Plath. You know what I would have done personally? I probably would have moved Kurt Donahue into 9. I remember last year when he played 9, he did very well.
He played really well, yeah.
I remember he was...
They're just really missing Jerry Marshall-King. Like, he's been on the bad end of injuries for the last couple of years. Like, I can't... Ever since he was there from their inaugural year.
Yeah.
Like, he was injured that year. He was injured the following year. Like, significant injuries as well. Not like just a week or
10
two.
week injuries.
Yeah. And he generates so much momentum off that rock.
You know what's interesting? Remember when he was 9 at the Dogs and no one wanted him there?
Oh, the Dogs were a death club. It was like going to the Tigers
Yeah, it was.
in the last couple of years. He just didn't go there.
Look, I think that the Dolphins will be too good. What I do want to see from the Dolphins, though, is Cody Nikorima and Isaiah Katoa combining a little bit better. I feel like they haven't been as clean.
They haven't clicked yet.
Yeah, like they did last year. Like last year, they clicked very well. Do you remember when they pumped Melbourne? And everyone was like... It was all Nikorima and Katoa. Like, they were fantastic.
That was Ray Stone's, like, shining game as well. He played fantastic.
Yeah, and I want to see a little bit more of that from Ray Stone, to be honest. I don't know. I haven't really thought Morgan Knowles has been that great. I would have probably started Ray Stone there just for the defensive efforts. But they have a great forward pack, and I think they'll be too strong for the Seagulls. I am tipping the Dolphins because they're at home. But honestly, I would not be surprised if the Seagulls come home with it. Just because
that wouldn't surprise me either. Like, when you look at the 1 to 13, I've got Dolphins in almost all matchups. Like, I think their backline is stronger. I think their forwards are stronger. I think they've got a higher ceiling. And the Seagulls are struggling with an identity crisis.
I think Foz will go a long way to getting a response out of them.
Mainly sacking their coach has just resigned their fate to not achieving anything.
Not always. It could
name a team that sacked their coach and they go on and play great. They might have this game. Like, I agree with your point.
Dogs,
they might
Dogs
bounce
when we
back.
sacked Trent Barrett and had Mick Potter.
See, anyone's an upgrade from Trent Barrett.
Yeah, but so is anyone. Seabold is the same.
I'll take your point. It wouldn't surprise me if the Eels...
So we have a problem with Zaatar, as you all have pointed out, that he talks like a mouse. No matter what we do with the microphone, he just can't be heard.
I'll hold it like this. Can you guys hear me right now?
Honestly, I feel like you need to...
I'll just hold it like this.
Yeah, please.
I wouldn't surprise me if the Eagles actually win this game. But, like,
Dolphins haven't been very
based on
impressive.
favourite colours, no, the Dolphins are more impressive than...
But they haven't been that, like, given their squad, they haven't been that great.
Eagles have lost to Canberra in Golden Point. They got smashed, or not smashed. They lost. Who's that? The Roosters. And who's the other team? They got pumped by the Knights.
Yeah,
3 games at home.
Look, it doesn't matter.
And they just lost their coach.
And the Dolphins,
They might have a bounce back game, like as a placebo effect of getting the new coach, and then go back on that spiral.
Let's see how we go. All right, next game. And this is match of the year so far, in my opinion. Not just the round, but I think match of the year. Friday, 3rd of April, 8 p.m, CommBank Stadium. The Panthers up against the Storm.
Should we go to that game?
No. It's Friday night.
So like straight from Icor to CommBank Stadium. What a...
Hey, we'll talk about this offline, please. Yeah. Firstly, I want to give... our well wishes to Tui Kamikamitha. What was supposed to be a routine toilet break or whatever ended up in him having a stroke. Apparently, he had a blood clot in his brain. It's very sad to hear, and I'm wishing him all the best. I really hope he recovers quickly and we see him come back to the game. I'm not sure if it was from any head knocks or any injuries, or it's just like a genetic thing. We don't know, but I do wish him all the best and
he's
hope.
out of surgery now. Last report from Brent Reed was he's out. He's just in normal ward now. Surgery went well, so they're expecting he comes out soon.
I do think he won't play this year again. After that, potentially, or at least he'll be out for 2 to 3 months. Given that Elias Kato is also out, it's a bit sad for the Storm. But really, this is more than just the game. Really wishing Tui Kamikamica all the best, and hoping he has a swift and full recovery. Now onto the game. As I said, game of the year so far. The Panthers have not made any changes, I think.
Well, would they? Mitch Kenny drops out due to suspension.
That's right. Mitch Kenny does drop out due to suspension.
Which I think is a big loss.
It's a huge loss. But they do have a natural 9 replacing him in Freddie Lussick, who was at the Warriors last year. They've got a good bench. They've got Jack Cogger on the bench who can play 9 if need be. They've got Billy Phillips, Scott Sorensen, Luke Garner, Isaac Tango, and Kalani going, which is a great bench. If you look at what they can, like Scott Sorensen, Luke Garner, Isaac Tango, all premiership winners. So, I think they'll do well. For the Storm, Nick Meaney is back. Moses Leo misses out. And then Sualangi Tuimalatu Brown is also named to start on the wing again. And
I thought he had an okay game.
He's
nothing great. Oh, yeah. Nothing like crazy.
He was safe under the high ball. Made his tackles, finished
he did
well.
the right things.
Yeah.
Moses Leo, it's like a godsend to have Nick Meaney back.
Yeah, it really is for the Storm. David Moali and Jack Hetherington alongside Cooper Clark come onto the bench, as well as Lazarus Vailepu and Manaya Fatawire. I'm not sure who they go with. I think Hetherington and Moali deserve a run this week. I think they'll need them to have a run to be able to even come close to the Panthers.
I think they need to run out Craig Bellamy to even get close.
Look, strange things have happened.
They'll turn up for this game.
They'll turn up. It'll be a great game.
In my mind, I'm like Panthers by 500. The Storm have not been that impressive, in my opinion anyway. Like for you pundits out there that think otherwise, believe it yourself. But they played poorly last week. Haven't been able to close out the game at home against the Broncos. Panthers have been like, oh my God, I wish it was the Bulldogs. They've been really good to watch. It's just been clinical. I don't think I've ever seen a team in round 4 rest players halfway through a game.
Yeah, I know. It's
that's just insulting.
But it was against the Eels, so no one really cares.
It doesn't matter. It's still insulting to the rest of the competition that if we
very
get up to a
insulting to the
lead
Eels.
by 3-4 tries, we're very confident.
We're taking
that
off our captain.
Yeah,
Our captain, sorry.
Yeah, and it's going to be round robin. Ivan Cleary will choose maybe I don't know, Nathan Cleary this week or Dylan Edwards to take a break.
Look, I don't think they will lead the Storm by any big.
I think they turn up for this game. I think it will be a tighter game. Yeah, I think
I
the
think
Storm
so as well.
will turn up. They're desperate for a win. This one's another one that's away from home. Craig Bellamy might pop a fuse if they don't. I don't know.
Well, how many fuses does he have left?
I don't know.
He's missed until 2028 too, bro.
He's at the auto electrician every week getting replaced. He's like, I'd rather watch. I'll watch Storm games
just for Bellamy. Never mind that they actually have a great team and they have great youngsters and they just always produce. But also Bellamy's a good act. Now, where do you think this is won? I'm tipping the Panthers by 12. Where do you think this is won?
I'm going Panthers by 8. I think it's just going to be one in the middle, to be honest. I'm looking at Harry Grant. If it's going to be an upset, it's going to be on the back of Harry Grant. I think everyone else is well covered. I don't think you can cover for Harry Grant's skill in the middle.
I actually think this week it's going to be one on the edges because Melbourne have been very vulnerable on the edges.
That's a good point.
They've been very vulnerable on the edges. I think Tom Jenkins will score another brace. I think he will definitely score another 2 tries coming up against Will Warbrick. You know why I say that? Because I rate Will Warbrick in attack, but I don't rate him in defense. I think Will Warbrick is very vulnerable in defense. He's very vulnerable in defense. Then on the other edge, you've got Casey McLean and Brian To'o. Honestly, at the moment, the best centre wing pairing in the game, without exception. I know that Thomas Jenkins is scoring more tries, but if you look at the amount of breaks that Casey McLean and Brian To'o are making, and
it's Alamotti and To'o.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which is crazy. But Casey McLean,
sorry, Alamotti and To'o. If even last week, if you look at the amount of inroads that Alamotti, I'm still so shocked at how good Alamotti is showing to be, the confidence that he's got, given that he was with us in 2023.
Jenkins was playing Ron Macy Cup at the start of last year.
It's true, man. Well, it's true. Man, people are saying Origin. Like, can you imagine that?
It'll do wonders for his contract, his next contract.
Yeah, it would be. But I think if Kiraz doesn't get one of them, if he doesn't get that wing, it'll be very, very sad. But yeah, I think he'll be one on the edges. I think, Jenkins will score a couple. I think To'o will also score one or two. And then, Leota, Smith, Martin, they're just going to keep that grind. Joe Chan, I think, will have a good game. I think that Stefano Utoikamanu will also take it up. But I don't know. I just don't think they have... I just don't think they have that level, that gear to take it to the Panthers.
See, every time we've said that about the Storm, that's when they turn up. And I don't think anyone's expecting them to win this week. Like, you'd have to be...
That's actually a good point, because that's when they sort of say, hey, you didn't rate us, but here.
Well, it's already forced changes in the team.
Yeah.
Leo's defense hasn't been up to standard. He got dropped.
But it is the Panthers. Like, that's the thing. If anyone bucks the trend of, these guys can come back, it's the Panthers. Like, the Panthers are the ones that can do the undoable, and beating Storm, I think it's going to be definitely be a Panthers win, in my opinion. I just don't see how the Storm...
I think it'll be a close one. I think it'll be 8 points or less. That's what I'm going. Panthers 8 or less.
That's a fair shout. I'm saying 12 only because I think that they'll be able to capitalize on those vulnerabilities on the edges. And
that might even be my smoky upset of the week.
Storm?
Yeah. I don't want them to win because I don't want to verse the Panthers on the back of a loss next week.
Yeah, I know. But on the back of a fifth win, like, it's not any better.
I prefer them winning.
All right,
just
so
not caring.
we both got the Panthers.
Yeah, both got the Panthers.
Okay, Saturday, 5:30 p.m. The Spoon Bowl. Dragons up against the Cowboys.
Ooh, game of the round.
They're at Jubilee Stadium. Interestingly, the Dragons have dropped Sloan, which makes no sense to me.
That's criminal.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. David Farley comes in on the wing. Lycan King Togia comes in for the injured Kyle Flanagan, thankfully, who is free of injury. He's come back. He's healthy. Should only have the 11-day.
Should be back next week.
Yeah, should be back. Look, honestly, whether he gets named or not, I'm just happy that he's okay and that it wasn't any major injury, because he was out cold for 5 minutes, which was very scary. So, our well wishes to go out to Kyle, and I hope he's okay. And then so Toby Couchman comes into the starting prop position alongside Emre Gula. Hamish Stewart starts at lock, but I think he does get dropped for Hame Sele. Blake Laurie's on the bench. So is Josh Kerr, and Terrell Sloan is at 19.
Yeah, I think you start with Hamish Stewart.
He always names him at 13 and starts Hame Sele. I would start with... I love Hamish Stewart.
Yeah.
Hamish Stewart's a freak, bro. Him and Dylan Egan, they are future New South Wales... Like, bro, they are fantastic players.
Yeah, with the Dragons... It's really just their backline that's been a massive letdown, but their forwards in the Couchmans have been fantastic. Leilua and Sua, I thought this is probably the best they've started the season with the Dragons.
Which is so shocking to say, because...
Hamish Stewart is being fantastic. Jacob Little is absolutely amazing.
How does he not getting... how does he still not get more than 40 minutes of game time?
It's baffling. Blake Laurie, for as much crap
he's
Dibbo
lost a lot
gives
of
him,
weight, bro.
but he's lost weight, and he's giving you
He's
solid
passable.
performances.
He's
giving you solid performances,
yeah.
but their backline has been atrocious.
100%.
And the fact that Christian, I can't even say his last name. Tui Polotu, he's been playing 2 out of 10, maximum.
100%.
Moses Sully, actually...
Yeah, I don't think he's been that bad. Legitimately, I don't think he's been that bad. I know he drops the ball a couple of times, but he hasn't been that bad, man.
Yeah. Holmes, I thought, has been all right. Just some silly errors.
I think he's been the best in the back line, but...
He has. And Clint Gutherson, something needs to be done.
Look,
I'm not sure what's happening, but he's cost them a few decisions.
Look, Clint Gutherson will bounce back. It
depends if the ref enters his arms up in the air.
Yeah, you're right, but he will bounce back. He is that good. Look, I'm surprised Emre Gula's still starting, but that's fine. All I want to see is Halangahu get some game time. I think it'll be.
He's moved him up to 16.
He has, but it will be outrageous if Halangahu doesn't get some game time. I
think he does because he's dropped Kurt to 18 now.
My opinion, honestly, I would start with Halangahu and have Lichiana Lela will come off the bench for impact. I actually would do it that way. I think Halangahu last year showed that he can play 80 minutes of NRL and he can play it at a high quality. That's genuinely how I feel I would have played it.
I don't know if I fully buy into that. I just think starting, you just need someone that could take the punch out of the game. And
I think he can do that. He did that last year.
He did all right last year. I just think Leilua has been in fantastic form. Like, for his time at the Dragons, I think he started the really good. No,
I agree. So that's what I'm not. It's not a demotion. It's more of a bro. You're so good that
come on and smash your
position. And the thing is, like, especially when he can run on the edges and he gets a good offload. Yeah, he can really bring some impact.
I just trust Leilua, the Couchmans. Only one of them's back, but Jaden Sewer, I trust him more controlling Jason Tamalolo because he's found form again, like very early on in the season, and he's been damaging, and they can control him, heal him. Lukey's been in really good form in a losing team. I don't think so. He has, man. He's only missed like a couple of tackles all year. He's been pretty good. You're just not watching the Cowboys with open eyes.
I am. Believe
you
me.
hate the Cowboys.
I don't.
I'll open up the WhatsApp threads. Cowboys are rubbish. Cowboys are going to come last. I'm joking.
I actually don't. I have a soft spot for the Cowboys because two of my close mates go for the Cowboys, and we always have chats, and there's a bit of a soft spot there. Although I really enjoy it when they lose because then I can put them on the boys, but I do have a bit of a soft spot for the Cowboys.
Last week of stuff. They'll put it on us instead.
But speaking of, so Tom Chester's back for the
straight back in.
Yeah, straight back in. Braden Burns still there. Clifford at 6. I think he's cemented his position at 6 for the Cowboys alongside Dearden. I actually think he's outplayed Dearden.
Yeah. Well, Dearden's been quiet to start the year.
Very quiet, yeah. Cohen Hess, Marnie, Taumalolo. McIntyre is starting, which I think is a good move. He's been coming off the bench. And then you've got Sonny Luke, Griffin Neem, Thomas McKaylee, Matt Lodge, Harrison Edwards, Zach Labour. That's actually not a bad bench. You know what's interesting? They have such a good team.
Cowboys?
Yeah. They have a good team,
They just seem like to only want to win when they want to win.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to do it every week.
They're not every week.
But when they want to win,
every
they'll
week
go out and get the win.
For this one, I am tipping the Dragons to bounce back.
I am as well.
It's there at Jubilee. I might actually go to this game.
What
with
time
Dibbo,
is it?
5:30 p.m. Let me know if you're interested.
Yeah, let me know.
Dibbo and I might go to this game. I love Jubilee Stadium. It's a 5-minute walk or drive from my in-laws. Very close, right? It's so it's not a fast stadium. It's a what's it called, one of those local grounds.
I like it. I've been there before,
bro. It's such a good place to watch footy, especially in the afternoon.
Yeah,
bro. And it's gonna be the last light 5:30 p.m. game because it's going to be daylight savings after that.
I think they win anyway, and I think they win well.
I think the Cowboys will play a lot better given that they beat the Storm. They have a lot of confidence, but I just think that the Dragons are going to be desperate. They can't lose 5 in a row. If they lose 5 in a row, they stay last, and I think it rules them out of contention for the ladder, for the 8.
It rules them out of moving into 16th, man. They might as well just pack it up.
That's what I'm saying. If they lose this game, then it also, I think, puts Shane Flanagan under pressure.
That's a good point. It's also at home, so I expect the fans to be real damaging.
Very loud. Yeah. So I'm tipping the Dragons by 8 points or 6 points. I'm not tipping them by a big win. I think
I'll probably even less than that. I know I said win well. I was just talking rubbish. I think 4 points, 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Unconverted try.
I'm going to say this one, Valentine Holmes has a blistering game. I think that they're going to get him on the edges.
I just want to see Clint Gutherson go from playing 3 out of 10 to a 6 out of 10. Yeah. If he does that, they win. If they don't do that, I think Scott Drinkwater, Purdy just exploit that all night.
All right. Then our next game at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday is the Titans up against the Broncos. Now, they've got pretty much the same team. They've got Ilias and Campbell in the halves. Cleese Haas is starting alongside Tino. Arama Howe is starting in the second row. Chris Randall's at lock. And on the bench, they've got Moran, Bai, Fodawaker, Pasco, Fine, and Jet Lu. For the Broncos, Payne Haas is back. Karipani and Anderson are out. I think they're both injured. So Gehamat Shibasaki starts alongside Jesse Arthurs. And then Payne Haas starts in the proposition. Brendan Piakura starts this week as well.
Yeah.
You got Hunt, Willison, Tulti, Oblix Toha, Jaden Hunt, and Antonio Verhoeven on the extended bench. How do you see this one going?
It's going to be disgusting. The Titans, even I think it was like 2 years ago, they upset the Broncos in this game. And I still remember it because I tipped them for some reason. I tipped the Titans that year. I don't know why. I don't know what possessed me, but it worked out. And then I tried it again last year and I was so wrong. I think it's going to be painful for the Titans. I don't think they've got it in them. I've liked the look of Arama Howe. Tino's been like, he needs to find form. I'm not sure what's happening there, but it's been like him and Fodawaker. But Fodawaker's been dropped.
No, Fodawaker's on the bench, so...
Well, he's been dropped from starting.
Yeah, and rightly so. That game he had was...
Yeah.
Bro, it was so bad.
But Tino's been very bad.
I'm actually tipping the Titans.
You're tipping the Titans?
I'm tipping the Titans.
That's because you're a Broncos hater.
Honestly...
You're that's not a logic bet.
No, do you know, it's not a logic bet, but you know what it is?
You like the colour blue more than maroon.
It's every game, I just feel like the Broncos are just going to shit the bed and go on a 5-6 game losing streak.
Oh, I don't know if it's the Titans, though. Did you see the way they played last week?
I know, but I have to tip the Titans.
You don't have to. You can use your brain. Like, I just look at Walsh sweeping out the back. Like,
all right, you know what? I'll tip the Broncos by 4.
By 4?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go by 40. I think it's going to be absolute thrashing. But the Broncos are known to leak points.
If the Titans win, I'm going to have a go at you next week on the podcast.
That's fine. Shibasaki's back in the centers. Who dropped out?
No, so I think Anderson is injured, as is Karipani.
Oh, yes. So injury forced him back in.
Yeah.
They could have some joy on that edge.
And Jesse Arthurs is there, someone who I think the Bulldogs should be targeting for a wing position, given his speed.
If we go for him,
Yeah.
I'll go for any other team. Just you guys can pick it in the comments.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, he's
No, he's not, bro.
all right.
Better than what we've got.
He's not better than Kiraz. I'd take Montoya on 1 foot over him.
Over Arthurs?
Over Arthurs any day of the
You're
week.
just a hater. All right. Sunday, 2 p.m. At Ocean Protect Stadium, it is the Sharks up against the Warriors. And thank God the games are not at 6 p.m. anymore. They're at 2 p.m. I don't like 6 p.m. games on Sunday.
How boring is it?
It's so
Like,
bad.
I can't do it. Like, I'm usually having dinner or
Family
a
barbecue. Yeah.
Something's happening.
Same.
And it's usually the most boring matchup of the game. Of the round.
They do it on purpose. I swear to God, they do it on purpose.
It's punishing. It punishes the viewers. It punishes the fans.
Punishes everyone.
It punishes the players. They don't even want to play 6 p.m. Sunday.
Yeah, it's so bad. So I'm glad it's a 2 p.m. game now. But next year, there probably will be a 6 p.m. game every week because there'll be 9 games a week.
They might.
Monday?
Yeah.
Mondays aren't any better, to be honest. But the only thing I like about Mondays is if I have a game on Monday, it means there's only 2 days or 3 days to wait
Yeah, that's why I like Mondays.
between games,
Yeah.
Monday and Thursday.
It's like the break is so much more tolerable.
But it also means that we have to then adjust our release schedule for podcasts.
That's okay. As long as you like and subscribe, we're
That's
good
right.
with it.
Make sure you like and subscribe. All right, preview. So, good to see that for the Sharkies, Toby Rudolph's starting again. Teague Wilton is still in the second row alongside Billy Burns. But Britton Nickera has been named. I expect him to move into the team. Sharks definitely turned it around last week. Warriors, had a really poor performance. For the Warriors, Dallin Watene-Zazniak is there. Tane Tuapiki still at fullback. Chance Nickel Klukstad is at centre again. Metcalf is at 6. Boyd is at 7. Then we've got the same sort of starting team with Jacob Laban at 12, Halasima at 11. And then on the bench is, I think it's the same bench. Oh, no, Marata Niokore moves into 15.
Mitch Barnett drops out with injury.
Mitch Barnett has dropped off the bench with, I think, is it a broken thumb?
Broken thumb.
8 weeks or something like that.
No, they're saying 4 to 6 weeks. Brent Reed was saying that Mitch Barnett was saying he's probably expecting a bit sooner. Like we saw Adakar return after 3 weeks. So we might see the same thing.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Look, Ali Lautau's been named at 23. He missed last week's game. So I think maybe Ali Lautau comes into the bench, comes onto the team somewhere. I don't know. But I do hope he comes back. I'm a big fan of Ali Lautau. I think he was playing really well before was he suspended or injured?
I think I'd have to check. I don't know off the top of my head.
Point is, I think this is going to be a really good game. I think both teams. I think the Sharks won't drop off after last week, but I think the Warriors will play good again. I think the
Warriors have the wood over the Sharks last couple of meetings as well.
That's right. Yeah, they started with that mad pass from Sean Johnson on his last game. To win the game.
That was a really good game. That's probably the first time I've actually enjoyed a Sharks game.
Yeah. Even that Raiders game last week was pretty good, to be honest.
I don't know who I'm going to go with over here. I think they're quite evenly matched. I just like the form of the Warriors. I just think the Sharks have a faster pack, if that makes sense.
Look, I get it, but I like the Warriors. I think last week wasn't an indication of how good or bad the Warriors were. I just thought it was an anomaly where they didn't rock up to play against the Tigers missing Luai. But the Tigers were like, no, we're going to prove it, because they were a bit more desperate than the Warriors for the game. And so I think the Warriors got a little bit of a kick up the butt that they needed. And I think the Warriors win and win well. When I say win or win well, I think they'll win maybe by 2 tries.
Yeah, I'm going to go Sharks. Home ground. I still think the Sharks...
Not that it's much of an advantage for them.
No, they're going to get 4 fans, and I don't know.
Honestly, I reckon there'll be more Warriors fans than Sharks fans.
Oh, easily. I don't know. I'm just going to go with the Sharks. Not mostly because it's home. I don't know. It's a tough game to pick.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
My heart's telling me Warriors. Logic is telling me Sharks, but I'm going to go Sharks.
Sharks. Okay, yeah. Fair enough. All right, the 4 p.m. Sunday game, Knights and Raiders. It's at McDonald Jones Stadium, and Trey Mooney comes back for the Knights, which I think is great to see him back.
Trey Mooney Cup.
The Trey Mooney Cup. And for the Raiders, Josh Papali'i is back. Timoko is back. He's on the bench. And then Owen Paddy is also being called up this week. Not that he's been named in the 19, but he is back. He could move in to the team if need be, sort of a couple of days, 24 hours before. It's going to be a good game. I think this is going to be a really, really good game, actually. I'm looking forward to it. What do you think?
I want to see the Knights lose by 500 after what they did to us last week, but I do think it's going to be a good game. Sorry to cut you off. Fletcher Sharp, even though he was feeling some pain in his knee towards the end of the Bulldogs game, he is playing. I'm very glad he's playing. I think he's one of the most exciting plays in the game at present. So, I'm happy that he's playing. They've got Gamble in the 6-man bench, so I'm not 100% sure. No, I'm being serious. I'm not sure if he stays in the team. Like, he's probably pending a fitness test.
I reckon they would rather play Fletcher Sharp on one leg than Tyson Gamble.
I would too, but I don't think Fletcher Sharp wants to run out on one leg.
It's just their forward pack, like the way Pasami Solo played last week. I don't know. It's hard to call. I want to say that the Raiders are going to bounce back because I think they've been very up and down this year.
I think they've been good in their losses.
They have been good. Look, they haven't been bad, but I just thought last week they started very slow and they sort of let themselves down.
They're struggling, in my opinion. It's more so like the game management of Ethan Sanders in that last 10-15 minutes to close out the game. But I think he's moving in the right direction. I don't think Sandon Smith is that much of an upgrade on Ethan Sanders. Ethan Strange and Fletcher Sharp, I think they're both electric players. So, like, for me, if I'm looking at backlines, Sasagi's been in flying form. Sebastian Chris, Xavier Savage has found some really good form. Ethan Strange, for me, he's got a history of being electric. Last year was fantastic. He's had a couple good moments. He needs to play
back on the left. He's playing too much on the right.
Yeah, way too much on the right. Kea Weeks and Tamale have been fantastic. Yeah. Tamale's probably been the standout in that back line.
I reckon he's been the best winger.
And then you've got Papali coming back in. You've got Tapane, who's It's probably not at a 10 out of 10 like he was last year. Hudson Young has found form, as much as I hate to admit it. Noel Martin is proving to be really good. Corey Horsburgh probably needs a bit of work. But, like, if you go 1 to 13, I think I'm choosing the Raiders just. Not like they're not. I don't think the Knights are too far off. And I think my assessment in the preseason was way too harsh.
Way too harsh. And I told you, man, I called. I said, there's no way they're getting the spoon.
Mate, you had them 16th.
No, I didn't.
15th.
I had them in the bottom 4. And I still think they'll finish in the bottom 4.
Yeah, but I think 1 to 13, I don't think the Raiders are too far off. And they really need this win.
So I actually think that the Raiders are going to win, and not because the Knights are going to be poor, but because the Raiders are desperate. I think the Raiders are getting to that point where they were minor premiers last year. I think they've won, 1 of 4?
Yeah.
1 of 4, and they're starting to get desperate. I also think Josh Papali'i adds a lot to their go forward, and he also drives Joseph Tapine to be better. I just think overall the Raiders do have a better team, 1 to 13, and I like the Raiders bench, but I also like the Knights bench. I just think overall they have a better team. As you said, it's going to be an entertaining game. I reckon the lead will change about 10 times. And it's going to be I reckon it's going to be like a 36 to 30 win by the Raiders.
Yeah. 36 what?
The 30.
No, I don't think the Raiders will leak that many points. Not to the Knights anyway.
Well,
in my opinion. I think it'll be probably like 30-14, 30-12, 30-16.
Nah, the Raiders, the Knights have proven that they can attack. I think, look, to be honest, I think that they win it with KO Weeks. I think KO Weeks and Savella Tamale are the ones that win it for the Raiders.
Tamale's a freak.
Yeah. However, I can see the Knights winning this. No. I'm going to tip the Raiders, but I'm not surprised or wouldn't be surprised if the Knights win.
Yeah, I'm going Raiders and Raiders comfortably, like 2+ tries.
That'd be interesting to see. It would be good to see. I do want to see Corey Horsburgh tone it down and just focus on getting the game right, getting the basics right. He's starting to lose his head, and I don't think it's a good thing. But, you know, it will be Pasami Solo and Trey Mooney's first game against their former team, which will be an interesting. It'll be very interesting to see how they perform.
Yeah, I'm 100% Raiders.
Yeah, I think Raiders for sure.
It's probably a spite tip as well.
All right, Monday the what's it called? The Easter Monday Battle of the West. The Eels against the West's Tigers. Now, for the Eels, Josh Papali'i has been named at fullback in place of the injured Isaiah Ayongi, which is a shame because he'll be out for 8 weeks with the meniscus, which is very, very sad to see. Also, unfortunately, Matt Dury is gone with an injury, and who else?
ACL for the year. Just him for now.
No,
Jermaine Hopgood the week before.
No, Jermaine Hopgood was ACL.
Matt Dury's ACL as well.
Is he ACL as well?
Yeah.
What a shame.
Got confirmed, I think, yesterday.
What a shame. Okay, I'm going to make this quick comment. I really want to see Bunty Afoa debut for the Tigers. I think everybody wants to see Bunty Afoa debut for the Tigers. We'll see if that's going to happen. I am very excited also to see how Jock Madden and Adam Doihey play. Can they back up their performance from last week against the Warriors? I still look at their forward pack and think, wow, what a forward pack. Latu Fainu is in the 14, which is good to see. And it's not Tristan Hope, which gives me hope for the Tigers.
Comedian on the hands.
We'll go live soon. They've got Jack DeBellin. The Eels have Jack DeBellin on the extended bench.
Don't get that. I hope that changes.
I know this is going to be a tough one to call. I'm going to go with the Tigers. But it's going to be a really interesting game.
I'm going Tigers. I don't even think it's close. I think Tigers have proven that they're a fitter team. They're more a resilient team. They've got some defensive principles that I think even Dibbo was calling it out. I know he's an Eels hater, but the Eels feel like they've regressed a bit. Like between Pizzette and
between who? Sorry,
Pizzette.
Who?
Pizzette.
Who? Sorry, Pizzette.
or the world's worst defending halfback. Or
Pezzett. Sorry, I have to. I was speak on his ability or inability.
Between Pezzett, who's the other one? What's his name? Kitoga.
Yeah.
Their defense is turnstile. Moses hasn't been defending well.
Katonga's got butterfingers as well.
Yeah. I haven't even got to the errors. Like the discipline in the Eels game has been subpar. Their defense has been like well below standard, and I just think the Tigers have proven that. Third year with Benji? I don't think he was a coach. I'll put my hand up and say that, but I feel like he's found a rhythm with this team. They're all clicking. They're working for each other. They're defending well.
Could it be that Robbie Farah's not there anymore?
I think there's a very strong cause and effect over there.
You reckon?
A very strong cause and effect.
Honestly, I reckon he was a big fitna for the Tigers. He was a big, what's fitna? Like troublemaker. He's Fatanji, like definitely troublemaker for the Tigers. But I want to see more from Moses for the Eels. I think that he needs to...
if they win, he needs to own the game.
Yeah, if they don't win
without him... He's been missing the last 4 games. Like, he was stepping for a try or 2, but that's not enough to win the game in the last 10 minutes. Yeah. Like, you need to be there from the first tackle in the first set. And I just feel like the Tigers have proven over the last 4 rounds. I know it's only 4 rounds and they've played 3 games or whatever. But they've got what it takes. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of their tries are coming in the back half of a half and towards the end of the game, which for me tells me that their fitness is there. They're still able to put teams away in the last 10, 15 minutes.
And they've got the mental resilience as a team. That's one thing they didn't have last year. Whereas this year, I feel like when they're on, right? And when they're not playing as well as they could, they're defending well.
Yeah, they're still around.
And if you look at their backline, like what I find very, very surprising is like the only 2 experienced backs they've got are Dream Buller and Sunia Turuva, whereas Falatini Tavana, Hamasi Makasini, and Luke Lolili are very inexperienced, yet they're performing out of their skin. I know that they have some defensive lapses, but for such a young backline, I think they're defending very well. Whereas I feel like the Eels backline isn't defending as well as they should be, which is weird. And the other
also their forwards not defending. It's the whole team.
Their forwards have too many errors. They try and do the interchange of passing between forwards and they don't get it right. And Dylan Walker's starting. Why are you still starting Walker?
They lose so much punch. I'm not sure what Jack DeBellin did. I know he didn't have a fantastic debut at the club.
But he's an experienced
like the first couple of games.
Yeah.
But he's someone, like, I find that the Eels lose too much by starting with Dylan Walker and not bringing him off the bench. He offers, in my opinion, a lot of spark. He moves the ball around. He's quick for a bigger guy. Surprisingly quick. Not necessarily he's going to run down your outside backs, but he moves that ball around.
He's got leg speed. I think as a forward, he's got leg speed. He's got a good passing game. Very good defensively. I thought he was consistently one of the Dragons' best last year. So to see that he hasn't really adjusted to the Eels' play style is more on him than it is on... it's probably more on him than the Eels, but the Eels have been quite poor. And as you say, they've regressed. Now... I'm going to go with the Tigers. I think the Tigers win well. I think that the Eels will try and bounce back, but I don't think they will. I think the Tigers will have way too much defensive steel for them, given what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
But if Moses turns up, I think the Eels win.
Yeah, if for me it comes down to Moses and their errors, but like you can't have Kitoga dropping the ball like 3 times a game and missing 5 tackles and Pezzett just being walked over, essentially.
How many times has that happened? Honestly,
he's leaked a try every game.
At least like minimum
minimum 1 per game, and same thing on the other side with Katoga. Like it's been minimum like 1 per game. If they don't, if Moses has like a slightly off game, or if he has a slightly on game, like where he's playing 7+ out of 10, I think they skin him on the edges though. I think the Eels will get on the edges. I think you probably would say the same thing.
Look, I don't know. I think
between the centers and wingers, I think the Tigers lack a lot of experience there.
They lack experience, but they have size and speed. I don't rate Sean Russell. I think Sean
Russell's been in good form.
No, he's been in good form, but he's stiff. Him and Brian Kelly are the worst defensive centers in the game.
Oh my God, Brian Kelly. That's another one.
They can't defend. They just can't defend. I think Bailey Simonson's been very good for them so far. Sean Russell's been great in attack, still can't defend. And so I think Makasini will run over Brian Kelly, to be honest.
I actually think a lot of the Tigers' tries are going to come straight down the middle.
Yeah, look, I think if Alex Twal can play the way he played last week,
He's found some great form as
You
well.
never rated him, bro. You never rated him. I always thought Abu Tawil is good, bro.
But it's just like I didn't rate anyone in the Tigers over the last couple of years because it's been like
You're still a
it was like-
Tigers hater, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know how you're tipping
don't-
them.
Logic. You blasted me at the start for tipping with my heart, and that's how Dibbo's winning the comp
Who did
or
you
whatever.
tip with the heart? The Dogs?
Yeah,
I tipped the Dogs as well.
that was logic as well because I'm gonna smash the Rabbitohs.
We always smash the Rabbitohs are garbage. Look, I'm excited to see how Latu Fayunu is brought into the game. I would have had him over Jock Madden. I would have had Latu Fayunu on 3 toes on one leg.
I don't think Madden played all right last
Well,
week.
he did.
You can't like. Why would you drop him? Like based on what?
Honestly, after that win, that's actually a good point.
And Fainu's
You can't
coming
drop
back from an injury. Like ease him back in. Like give
Yeah,
him
it's
like
true.
let him create some spark. Maybe jump in for 12.
Yeah. Create
Create something in the middle.
I think Fayunu's there. I think he's their
Whoever
future.
you can play whoever. Like
All right.
yeah.
I'm going Tigers by plenty. You?
Tigers. I'm gonna go 14.
Yeah, I think they're a good attacking team. Adam Dway here was our attacking player of the week last week, and
Yeah.
I think he's showing his experience, and it's interesting that all halves seem to just hit a particular peak at like 27, 28 and then just explode. It seems like a maturity thing almost. Unless you're Nathan Cleary, because he's goated. But with that, we have come to the end of our preview episode. Thank you so much if you have made it all the way. Look, we know that we're Doggies fans, but we love rugby league. So please let us know your thoughts if you are a fan of any of the other teams that we've spoken about today. Let us know what you think down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. And with that, I want to say thank you, and we will see you in the next one. Always be sure that Tuesdays at about 8 p.m. we go live. So if you do want to come and talk about some of the things that we've said, come live, have a chat with us, and just get involved, get engaged. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.